guys, so it's the evening, yes, and I'm doing some videos in boxers here, so yeah, I thought I would just do it quick instead of like putting the position of the camera this way, starting to do quick videos. I want to talk about journaling. The best way, how do you know if you're in ketosis, right? I'm going to do a video on that again. So the best way to actually chart and see for yourself how you're in ketosis is to do all the suggestions I've recommended, which is to go to bed early, which is to get your protein under 100 for guys, women closer to 50, 60, 65. Get your fat up to 200. Make sure your macros are on point, fleet, correct. Once you got that established, the next thing, and sleep, and get your sleep cycles in order. Yes? After you've got that all sussed out, then you want to journal it. Because so many people don't know what's going on with their bodies. They don't know why. People will send me which I love, actually, it's my favorite thing to look at, is glucose ketone numbers. When people start sending me their HDL, their triglyceride to HDL ratios, and their LDLs, and they don't do an LDL small particle test, and everything's subjective, I'm like, headache. But I love me some glucometer numbers. That's just like, I don't know, that's like having ice cream at the end of the night for me. I love it. Gets my brain too active, but I really love it. But you want to get a glucometer, you want to get a dual glucometer where you can measure your glucose, your ketones. You check yourself fasted in the morning on an empty stomach. With glucose, you can measure all day long, but the fasted number is the number to check to see if you're in ketosis or becoming keto adapted. And there is a difference between ketosis and being keto adapted, which should be my next video. But anyway, what you want to do is note everything. Write a journal, because you can see the correlations between glucose high this day and, if I could pull up some of my clients' numbers and just put it, maybe I'll do that, and I'll white out the name so you can see people's glucose jumping up. It's like crazy. One day it's 78, one day it's 120. And I'm like, you have to journal so you remember on friggin' July 15th, why was your glucose 120 when you woke up? The next morning you'd be like, yeah, we went out to a restaurant, we had food late, I ate my protein fast, I was a woman, I was eating 85 grams of protein. There you go. That simple. A lot of people start to get their fat too low because they're so afraid of gaining weight. So their fat gets too low. So what you want to do is you have to make sure that your fat's high enough, because the brain has to go back and forth and get off its addiction to the glucose, and you have to offer it like you're offering something to the gods. Yes. You're offering fat to the body as another gasoline type that the body and the brain is not used to. And eventually, the brain gets sick and tired of being and feeling sick and tired, and so it starts to use ketones. But then you have to get your body more in a parasympathetic state in the beginning, which is more off than on. We need sympathetic and parasympathetic. We need to be like, and then we need to be like nice and chill. But unfortunately, in the beginning, we need to put ourselves in a more chill zone. Our workouts have to be done in a smart way. We don't want our cortisol to spike too high, because we're like, our cortisol button is pushed in. So if you learn how to push it out a little bit and get to bed and work out and resistance train and stop trying to hit train right now or power lift or body build for now, like in your first month, then your body will start to use those ketones, because every time you have this cortisol spike, you're making glucose. You're making glucose, you're making insulin, and insulin stores fat, doesn't burn it. Eat your breakfast in the morning. Very important. Do not intermittent fast. I think I'm connecting myself to the last video on how you get into ketosis faster. But this is a sort of like how you journal to know if you're getting into ketosis or to get into ketosis faster. So journal to know if you're in ketosis, but get into ketosis faster by not intermittent fasting and skipping your breakfast with the coffee, and get off of the coffee, and get off of the nuts, and get off of all these things as you journal it. And if you want to, have coffee and then check your glucose the next day. A lot of people say like, well, like someone wrote me, well, my glucose was fine and it didn't spike when I had my coffee. And I'm like, well, what were your glucose numbers? She's like, oh, 90, 94. I was like, but you're not lowering them. They're not getting higher on your coffee, but they're not getting into a ketogenic range. So I don't care that your glucose isn't spiking on coffee. I care that your glucose is in a ketogenic range. That's the dealio. Yes, yes, yes. That's what we want. Journal your sleep. How many times you dream. If you're dreaming. Write it in the morning. What time you went to bed? Did you wake up? Did you have a hard time falling asleep? How long did it take you to fall back to sleep? These are the things that you want to journal. If you're on medication, often medication makes your glucose spike. I'm sorry, bioidenticals and HRTs make your glucose spike. So if you want to learn more, go to stephanieperson.com, Stephanie Business Person on my Facebook fan page, or Stephanie Ketogenic. Journal your workouts. Make sure you have them before 3. I don't care if you have a job. Get your butt to bed early and wake up early and get your workout done when you're still in that circadian rhythm cycle. Because we don't want to work out at night because that'll spike your cortisol, adrenaline, cortisol, glucose, insulin. You ain't getting the business. You ain't getting the business. I'm just saying. So, if you guys want to learn more, you know what to do. And if you want to go check out my Instagram, it's Stephanie Ketogenic, and my Facebook fan page is Stephanie the Business Person.